Well, this is what many of you heard and saw pretty much throughout the night. Meteorologist Kristen Van Dyke told us it was going to storm, and boy, did it. Here is some early morning video that we captured overnight. Look at that rain. The rain just poured down, causing roads, a lot of them, to flood. Lightning and thunder visible throughout Albuquerque and central New Mexico. And be careful driving this morning. Some traffic lights are still out. So far, we've had no reports of major damage. Some viewers have called in worried about the heavy rain and loud claps of thunder.
And happening now, storms are still causing problems for thousands of people in and around Albuquerque and Santa Fe because they don't have power right now. Take a look at this map. It's a live look from PNM. It shows, probably a little less than 3,000 homes and businesses still without power. You can see most of them are going to be in the Heights. They're in the North Valley. There's a number of them up near Placitas, and again, a few up in Santa Fe. I talked with PNM this morning. They say they know about these outages. However, they say it may take all day to get the power restored to everyone. Well, new this morning today, we could learn more about a man who was killed while riding his motorcycle in northwest Albuquerque last night.
Yeah, it happened after 7 o'clock at the corner of Blue Water and Unser. The crash temporarily shut down the intersection. It appears that the motorcyclist hit an RV.
Officers were dispatched to reference a traffic accident. Upon their arrival, they discovered that the motorcycle had had a traffic accident with a recreational vehicle. At the scene, they discovered a male subject had lost his life as a result.
Police say it's too early to determine what may have led to the crash. The names of those involved have yet to be released.
Well, the woman who barely survived a brutal crime that left her friend dead testified against her attacker in court once again yesterday. Back in 1981, Michael Guzman kidnapped two UNM students as they walked near campus. He took them to T. Harris, where he raped Julie Jackson, stabbed her to death, and also repeatedly stabbed Colleen Bush as well. Guzman was convicted of first-degree murder and has been in prison for decades now. He says he should not have been convicted, though, because he was drinking and on pills that night and therefore could not form intent to kill. In court yesterday, a former neighbor who did not testify at Guzman's original trial backed up his claim, but prosecutors pointed to testimony from other witnesses that contradicted that. The survivor, Colleen Bush, also testified. She asked the judge not to grant Guzman's request for a new trial, and she says that his constant attempts to get out of prison are causing her constant pain.
Each continuance is like a knife in my heart. And, Your Honor, I have been stabbed enough. Please do what you can to stop this continuing assault on my dignity.
A judge will decide if Michael Guzman will get another trial a little bit later. Well, state police think a man who's been missing from Farmington since early April may have been a victim of foul play. Jim Murray was last seen buying alcohol at a store in Farmington back on April 17th. Police say he left his wallet behind, his computer was still on, plus his walker and cane were found against a wall, and his bike, which he usually took with him, was found locked up. Murray suffers from heart problems. He also has a warrant out for his arrest. If you know anything about what may have happened to him, police would like to hear from you.
A man's attempt to outrun the authorities in Santa Fe is caught on tape. Deputies in Santa Fe County tried to pull Uciel Rojas over on Airport Road for following another car too closely this week. Now, he didn't stop and instead turned into a busy mobile home neighborhood. Deputies followed but stopped chasing him because there were families on the road. Well, they found his car parked in front of a home and found him trying to climb a wall. Deputies chased and then tased him.
At that point, she's able to look over the wall, see that he's still there. She's giving verbal commands.
I'll tase you again. Get down on the ground.
Well, the guy took off running again, as you can see here, and was later found in an apartment complex. Rojas had warrants out for drugs and DWI. He's now facing fleeing and breaking and entering charges. And check out this video. That is no bear up in that tree. It's a man who refused to come down in front of the Bernalillo County Assessor's Office in downtown Albuquerque last night. The fire department got out its rescue ladder, and get this, before this guy agreed to come down. He takes a moment to finish off his beer. He was arrested for disorderly conduct and public intoxication. Well, it's happening now. Some parents will do anything to make sure their kids get into good schools.
Even use a fake address. But this year, APS is cracking down on that. It's now making new and returning students prove they live within a school's boundaries every single year. They have to do this with a utility bill or something like that, or they have to have a transfer slip.
It actually opens up more slots instead of people pretending to live somewhere or, saying that they rent or live with somebody and giving a false address. I think it just makes it more fair and evens the playing field.
The school board narrowly approved these new rules back in April. Not everyone likes them, though, including some school board members who say it'll be hard for families to prove where they live.
Some preschoolers in Albuquerque have gotten to learn something a little different: how to grow a community garden. With the help of AmeriCorps volunteers, kids at Cuidando los Niños planted fruits and vegetables at their location on Walter Street in the southeast. They learned where the food comes from, and it provides their family with some fresh fruits and veggies.
These are children who come to us initially homeless, so they don't have the resources necessarily to be able to grow those foods initially. But if they see how it can be done here and the joy that can come from growing your own foods, and also the community that's formed in working together.
The mission of Cuidando los Niños is to provide early education for homeless children and help get their families back on their feet.